Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back. Hello, Dragon.
Good evening, sir.
It's great to have everybody here for this special Maverick Midnight Matinee. Tonight, we have a special treat for you. We are going to take you back in time to explore a show that's often compared to the legendary Twilight Zone, but with a twist all its own. This is One Step Beyond, an anthology series that delves into the strange, the unexplained, the supernatural, all inspired, Dragon, by true events. It premiered in 1959. One Step Beyond captivated audiences with its eerie tales long before the Twilight Zone became a cultural phenomenon. While Rod Serling's classic focused on social commentary and imaginative fiction, One Step Beyond rooted its stories in real-life mysteries that defied logic and reason. This unique approach gave the show an unsettling authenticity, leaving viewers wondering just how much of what they saw could actually be true. Doesn't that ring true today? What's real? What isn't? What's true? I don't know. Now, why does a show like One Step Beyond still resonate today in an era where conspiracy theories abound and the lines between fact and fiction often blur? The series feels more relevant than ever today, if you ask me, Dragon. Its exploration of the unknown taps into the same curiosity that drives our fascination with science fiction, fantasy, and the paranormal in modern media. Whether it's UFOs, ghosts, government secrets, the questions raised by One Step Beyond are still being asked. Only now they're amplified by the internet and pop culture. So what do you think?
Well, I think it's resonate with the reality of today. People doesn't know what is real nowadays, so Are we going to tap into the supernatural?
Or maybe the surreality of today. So as we dive into these first 3 episodes tonight of One Step Beyond, remember, what you're about to see isn't just a story, it's a mystery that has puzzled people for generations. So dim the lights, sit back, and prepare to question the world as you know it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is One Step Beyond. This is the first episode, the pilot episode for the whole series that started it all.
The amazing drama you're about to see is a matter of human record. You may believe it or not. But the real people who lived this story, they believe it. They know. They took that one step beyond. It begins here, in the Elite Bar and Grill, with a wedding party. There's not one thing that sets Sally and Matt Conroy apart from all the other couples who were married today in the United States. Not a thing. Not yet.
Dance like that, dragon.
Hey, when are we gonna get out of here?
Come on, baby. How about that Georgie boy, eh, Matt? He hasn't had that much exercise since he dumped that load of grapefruit up on the Ridge Road. Hey, looks like that little gal of yours could keep on dancing all night, Matt.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
Sorry, baby. When I get going, I get carried away.
Hey, why don't you take it easy, you big lug? You all right, Sal?
Oh, I think so.
Let's try it again. I was just getting warmed up. Hey, back in the stag line, Georgie boy. You've had it. My turn to dance with the bride.
Oh, I'd just love to dance with all you gentlemen again.
Yeah, but they won't hold our room after 9 if we don't get there.
Oh, that'd be a shame.
We want to thank you for the party, fellas.
Just one last round for the road on me. Hey, Tommy. Say, how'd Conroy ever find you down among those bayous, honey?
Well, he transported my cousin's belongings when she moved back home a couple months ago. And, well, one thing led to another. Here I am.
How do you like it?
Oh, I love it. I've never been northeast or west of Louisiana before in my entire life.
Well, no one would know it in the way you talk, honey child.
Come on, Sal, let's get going. Well, thanks again for the party, fellas.
Say, Matt, don't we get a chance to kiss the bride? Yeah!
I think those guys are perverts.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, what were you dreaming about?
I don't know. Why?
Well, you were making all sorts of funny faces, funny noises.
Did I look awful?
You couldn't look awful if you tried. Of course, you look a lot better when you're smiling.
How much further is it?
Why?
You're gonna be so tired from all this driving. I mean, I sure wish I knew how to drive so I could help
That was a pickup
Just gonna have
line.
to learn, that's all. Nutty for somebody to live in California and not know how to drive a car.
No pun intended.
What's the matter?
Huh?
What's the matter?
I don't know, nothing.
Those crazy guys down at Tommy's, you sure knocked them for a loop. I guess you know that. Of course, you kind of knocked me for a loop, too. I tell you, I'm sure glad your cousin decided to go back to Louisiana and call NorCal Van and Storage.
Matt, if we turn left about a mile ahead, it's a prettier drive.
How'd you know that?
It's beautiful and wild and secluded. There's a hill straight ahead, just past those pines. Go up the hill.
How in the world did you know?
Never mind.
She's sitting awful close to him, like too close for him to drive safe. Move over.
That's it. Eagle Point's just ahead.
She's sitting right on his lap.
Eagle Point.
practically.
Turn right. Be careful.
Oh, seal
There's a
them.
fallen tree across the road.
They don't.
Hey, wait for me!
Sally. Sally, what's the matter with you? Sally, what in the world's the matter with you?
Who are you?
Oh, come on, Sally, stop kidding.
Will you please take your hands off me?
Sally?
She
Sally!
wants a divorce. You're walking now, pal.
Sally!
Well, personality change.
That ain't Sally.
Sally!
I don't know, her voice sounded so different, she looked so different. I don't know.
Well, there aren't many roads through here. Shouldn't take us long to find her.
You married a crazy one, pal. I hope you had a prenup. She's already deciding what she's going to take. I'll take it all.
Now, how would she know about a place like this? She's never been up here before in her life, I'm sure of it. Why would she kid me about driving a car? She looks so different.
Now, that's mighty strange. What are the lights doing on in the Wharton place? Is that your car?
Yeah. Wonder what Sally's doing here.
Beats me, mister.
Who lives here?
Nobody now.
Well, how come the electricity's still on?
The estate hasn't been settled yet. The girl who used to live here jumped from a place called Eagle Point a couple of weeks ago.
Eagle Point.
Kind of gives me the creeps, a nice girl like that committing suicide. What a mess. Had to make identification from dental records and stuff like that.
No! No! No!
What are you trying to do? Scare me to death?
I didn't.
You know what I ought to do, you silly dame? I ought to belt
I
you
didn't
one.
kill myself.
Sally?
I didn't
Sally?
jump. I didn't jump. I was
Sally?
murdered. I was murdered. I was murdered. I was
Sally?
murdered.
Sally. Sally.
Welcome to the MK Ultra Mind Control Clinic.
So she got possessed by spirit of the woman that has been killed.
How much longer is this going to go on?
Is what going to go on, Mr. Conroy?
Every time she wakes up, it's another sedative, another shot. Is that the only thing you can do for her? Keep her asleep?
Yes, Mr. Conroy.
It's been 24 hours. Look, I could feed her sleeping pills myself.
Mr. Conroy, your wife was quite violent when you brought her in here, quite incoherent. Every time she wakes up, she tries to run away. Now, how would you suggest that we restrain her? Would you prefer a straitjacket?
You haven't even told me what's wrong with her. Well, what's wrong with her?
I don't know.
She's nuts.
Well, when will you know?
Do you see that library? Every mental and emotional disturbance known to medicine is described somewhere in these books. Your wife's case is not among them.
Well, then I'll just have to go to some other hospital where there'll be somebody who can help her.
That's your privilege, Mr. Conroy. I don't think it will solve anything. I'm going to be quite frank with you. That young woman you brought in here is not
That
going to
young
be...
woman? What do you mean, that young woman? She's my wife. She's not just
Your
some-
wife? Does this sound like your wife?
Alex, I've told you there's no time. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you keeping me here?
To try to make you well, Mrs. Conroy.
Why do you keep calling me that?
Because that's your name.
My name is Karen. You know that. Alex, please, why won't you help me?
I'm trying to help you, Mrs. Conroy. There is no Karen Wharton. Karen Wharton is dead. Karen Wharton committed suicide.
No! No! I was murdered! You must believe me! I was
Please.
murdered! I was murdered! Alex, please, Alex, there isn't any
Quickly,
time!
nurse.
Why won't you help me?
Quickly,
please,
nurse.
please, please! Alex, listen to me. Listen to me. I'll be calm. I promise. Please, Alex, I'll be calm. I'll be calm.
She's lying.
My name is Karen Wharton. I was born in Fort Washakie, Wyoming, on February 10th, 1935. My mother's name is Mary Louise. My father, Philip Joseph Wharton, died of pneumonia on April 12th, 1939. Your wife, Ellen, drowned at the 4th of July picnic in 1941 at Lake Etna. And 4 years ago, at the Harvest Moon Ball at the Country Club, you asked me to marry you, Alex.
Never mind, nurse. Who murdered you?
Dan Stapler.
Dan Stapler. Why?
Because I wouldn't give him a divorce.
Dan Stapler isn't married.
We were married secretly last year in Mexicali.
Why secretly?
You know why. Mother hated him. And she was right. His passion cooled considerably when he found out that none of Daddy's money was in my name.
Then why didn't you give him a divorce?
Because I loved him. I would have been anything he wanted me to be if he'd only loved me. I can't tell you how mortifying it was. How revolted I was when I saw him at the beach with other women and at parties. I loathed him and I loathed myself because later, when he'd come to me, when he'd touch me,
Regarding your inquiry, Daniel Stapler married to Karen Wharton this city, June the 11th, 1956. Mexicali Hall of Records.
Well, can't there be some sort of explanation? Maybe she read about the death in a newspaper. Well, couldn't it just be a coincidence? Well, what is it? Some sort of psychic hocus pocus or something? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
You'd hardly expect a psychiatrist to tell you a thing like that. Why did he murder you?
because he found somebody who did have money. That night.
Go on.
It had been weeks since I'd seen him. He dropped by that night without any notice at all. And the famous stapler charm was in full bloom again. And of course I fell for it again. Dan always had a divine sense of timing. He told me his real reason for the visit, that he wanted a divorce. While he was making love to me, I told him I'd never divorce him, not ever. And then he behaved like a 6-year-old child having a temper tantrum. He cried out that I cheated him, ruined his life. He stomped his feet, and his voice screeched like a petulant woman.
Sounds
He
like a
looked
typical
so
man.
ridiculous. He suddenly looked so ridiculous that I started to laugh. I suppose it was hysteria more than anything else, but I couldn't stop.
No, they call a better
He
man.
turned very white and came at me. He struck me with his fist. And before I could tell him that, yes, 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 you can have your divorce, he killed me.
How?
It wasn't a pleasant death, Alex. I didn't die quickly.
Was there ever a pleasant death?
Finally, he crushed my skull with something heavy. And then he took my body to Eagle Point and flung it off the edge to make it appear as suicide. Alex, do you believe me?
How can I, Mrs. Conroy?
But you must! I'm not Mrs. Conroy! He murdered me! I can prove it! I can prove it! Alex, listen to me! I can prove it! I can make you... Let me go! I can make you believe me! Let me go! Listen to me, Alex! No!
Nurse.
No! No! No!
What am I gonna do?
What am I going to do? Yes? We'll be right up. Your wife's awake.
Dr. Slauson, let me go in first. Honey, are you feeling better?
Alex, I want to call my mother.
Your mother in Louisiana?
Alex, please, don't start that again. Please let me call my mother,
Why?
because she'll believe me.
Will she?
Yes.
I think perhaps I'd better call her, don't you? It's going to be an awful shock.
Tell her I want to see her. It's all right if I get dressed, isn't it? I don't want her to see me like this. I must look terrible.
Yes. Get dressed.
You know, Sal, we promised your cousin Diana we were going to wire her right after the ceremony. Only in all the confusion down at Tommy's.
Would you mind leaving so I can get dressed?
Pervert. And how come her hospital gown doesn't, like, open at the back? Whenever I get those things at the hospital, my butt sticks out. It's embarrassing as heck. Just saying. It's true.
Did you call her mother? I mean, Mrs. Wharton.
No. No, I didn't. Mr. Conroy, I'm going to try something drastic.
Get out! Get out!
You gave me this a long time ago, remember?
Of
Dude.
course I remember, Alex.
She's only half dressed. Get out! Like,
Has there been much change in 5 years?
"5 years is a long time. Did you call my mother?
Not yet.
In case you've forgotten, the number's 5211.
I remember.
Will you call her now?
Why don't you rest for a while? I'll take care of it.
5211 is the number.
Miss Peterson?
Now numbers are like this long. Too many humanoids on the planet, I guess. Not enough numbers.
And too many aliens. Those.
Oh, those were the days. Dial telephones.
Hello? Karen. Karen, oh my God. Baby. Baby!
Good actress. That was believable. She's good.
Mother, I'm so glad to see you. Alex won't believe me. No one will believe me. They're treating me like I'm insane. Mother, please help me. Tell them who I am. Tell them who I am. Who are you? Who are you and why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Conroy. Mommy, please.
Here, take these.
When she put her arms around me, it was Karen. I know it was. And it was Karen's voice. Oh. But she is dead, Doctor, isn't she?
Yes, Karen is dead, Mrs. Wharton.
Doctor, Mrs. Conroy's gone.
There she is.
With something heavy. With something heavy.
Well, what now?
We start with this. The police, Dan Stapler.
No, I mean about her.
I don't know about her.
Hi, darling. Matt, is something wrong?
Not now.
No,
Split
we got lost
personality.
for a while, but we're all right now. We're gonna be married a long time, Mrs. Conroy, and it's gonna take me a long time to... Oh, thanks.
Cured.
There's a nice technical word for what happened to Sally Conroy. It's called possession. That is, the dead temporarily taking over the body of the living. Terrifying? It terrified Dan Stapler into a quick and full confession. There are thousands of cases of possession in the records, many of them fully authenticated by respected scientists. We've seen one. To whom it happened, we know. Where it happened, we know. How or why it happened. Good night. Whether or not you believe that coming events cast their shadows before them, be with us next week when 5 different people, totally unknown to each other, see the hideous shadow of a great disaster weeks, days, hours before it happens. This heretofore untold drama comes from the testimony of those who took that one step beyond.
So you see, my conspiracy theory loving friends, possession is a real thing. Oh, that's the wrong series. What do you think, Dragon?
Well, possession is a thing. Probably, I don't know. I never seen anyone being possessed myself, but I mean, there's so much case that we have heard or read about possession and people changing personality one day to another. Even myself, I've changed my personality one day to another when things went wrong, and well, I became the dragon. So,
Well, you're not going to have to wait a full week for the next episode of One Step Beyond because we have it coming up right after this.
He's a fighter. He's a survivor. President Trump, defiant, strong. He is determined to make America great again. Pay tribute to the 45th President of the United States with this collectible t-shirt from the Maverick News Memorable Moments collection. Even a would-be assassin's bullet could not stop him. Instead, he emerged with his fist in the air ready to fight. For freedom. Get your Trump Fighting for Freedom t-shirt with any donation of $30 or more to Maverick News. There are 2 iconic artistic designs to choose from. But there is only one way to get these. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Support free speech. Free media. Support Maverick News. Call 1-866-248-1490 or order online at supergeeks.tv.
Okay, Dragon. We've just stepped into the eerie world of One Step Beyond with our first feature, and now it's time to dive into the second episode of the series. This one titled Night of April 14th. The other one was called Bride Possessed. Possession can be a real thing. You want to see a woman possessed, you just come to my house on garbage day, and if I don't take the garbage out, you see what happens to my wife. Totally different personality. So this next episode is particularly chilling as it delves into one of the most infamous disasters in history, the sinking of
Titanic.
The Titanic, through the lens of those who claim to have premonitions of the tragedy. So before we press play on this one, let's take a moment to appreciate the unique production behind this series. One Step Beyond was produced by John Newland, the host of the show, who not only served as the show's host, but also directed nearly every episode. What set this series apart was Newland's commitment to authenticity. The stories were meticulously researched, often based on documented events and eyewitness accounts, which added a layer of realism that made the supernatural elements all the more unsettling. Johnny, my friend, coast to coast, has nothing on this guy. And Alex Jones, eat your heart out. Here's an interesting piece of trivia for you, Dragon. One Step Beyond was one of the first TV shows to be filmed in what is known as the direct cinema style, which was more common in documentaries. This approach gave the episodes a raw, almost voyeuristic feel, drawing viewers even deeper into the mysterious tales. Does that not intrigue you?
It did. Yeah, I mean, it does. I just want to see more, actually. And I mean, it's the first time I've seen it for the first episode, and I'm just introduced into it. But I already got my keen interest into it.
Yeah, I think the scripts are very strong. It's that's what makes for any kind of great television or film, video. It's it all comes down to the storytelling, right?
Mhm.
So as we prepare to witness Night of April 14th, remember that this episode, like the others, was inspired by real life events that defy explanation. Settle in now and let the story unfold. It might just make you think twice about the power of premonitions and the mysteries of the human mind. Now let's continue our journey into the unknown with this next episode of One Step Beyond, Beyond, Beyond.
The amazing drama you're about to see is a matter of human record. You may believe it or not. But the real people who lived this story, they believe it. They know. They took that one step beyond. Here in this warm, secure London house, early April 1912, began the bizarre and untold chapter of a news story that would soon stun the civilized world. In this library was an unread book. Coming events cast their shadows before them. Maybe. Remember this book. We'll come back to it later. It might shock you.
Mother. 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 Mother! Mother!
What is it? What's wrong, dear?
It was water. Dark water. I was drowning. I couldn't swim anymore. I was drowning.
Oh, you've just had one of those old-fashioned nightmares.
Oh, no.
I don't blame you. All this excitement about the wedding. No wonder.
Eric was there. And I couldn't find him in the dark. And the water closed in over me. What does it mean?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And in 4 days you'll be married and in Switzerland on your honeymoon. The happiest bride that ever was. And you can't drown in Switzerland. Nobody ever does. All they do is bang into trees on those foolish skis. But drowning? No.
It was all so clear to me. And I could feel the water. It was like ice.
Now, if you must dream, I order you to dream only pleasant things. Eric, your wedding dress, and how happy you're going to be. Promise? That's better. Now, come on back to bed.
But I couldn't find him. I couldn't find
Now,
him.
that is enough, darling. And I shouldn't worry Eric with this. He's been trying so hard to make everything wonderful for you. There.
A lot of scenes with women in like
Good night. And no more nightmares.
in nightwear. I wonder if that's an accident. Probably
Good
not.
night.
That was a ratings builder back in the 1950s, I guess. Pretty elegant, though, I have to say that.
They should have bought a dog and called him Brian.
Good morning, Emily. Is the future Mrs. Farley about? Grace?
Eric. Well,
I know it's early, but I wanted to see what my wife would look like in the mornings.
ugly.
Would you like some coffee, darling?
I'd love some. You like surprises, don't you, darling?
I love them. Come on, surprise me.
It's about our honeymoon.
The honeymoon?
We're not going to Switzerland.
We're not. Well, where are we going?
We're going to America. To New York City.
Oh, my God.
New York.
Don't do it.
Now, why don't you ask me how we're going to get there? Swim? Rowboat? Raft?
All right, darling, how?
That's how. Stateroom 111B, boat deck, right next door to Mr. and Mrs. John Jacob Astor, no less. On the maiden voyage of His Royal Majesty's ship, Titanic, Southampton to New York, 6 days at sea, next Tuesday.
At sea?
Oh, just a little sugar, darling.
I can't.
Good call. Jeez. Talk about foreshadowing.
I can't believe it.
I can hardly believe it myself, but the office has connections.
Oh, you lucky children.
You sure you went
Really?
to Switzerland?
Oh, Switzerland will keep. But the Titanic, our honeymoon, it's once in a lifetime.
The paper's full of nothing but the Titanic. Listen to this, Grace. RMS Titanic, the world's largest and most luxurious liner, is writing a new and glamorous chapter in man's conquest of the sea. By virtue of her 5 watertight compartments, she's being hailed in marine engineering circles as the unsinkable ship. Her first passenger list makes her a floating home for royalty, statesmen, international society, and stars of the theater and the arts. And
Mr. and Mrs. Eric Farley, who are absolutely unknown.
And absolutely in love.
Aww. Isn't that sweet?
Grace. Grace. Grace, what is it, darling? What is it?
We can't go on that ship. It happened again. I dreamed.
Now, darling, I do wish you wouldn't.
I saw the sea, the cold sea. Oh. There were people struggling in the water.
Really?
Sinking, dying.
Grace.
And then a huge ship slid down. Down.
Now, it's just a bad dream. Besides, that ship couldn't be the Titanic. The Titanic can't sink. Everyone knows that.
I saw a lifeboat tossing in the water. There were letters on the side of it. I saw.
Really
so
big.
clearly I saw the word Titanic on the side of the boat. I did. I did. I did. I did. I did. I did. I did.
Just what I've always wanted. Only my own dear Aunt Agatha would have guessed. Have you ever kept birds, my darling? No, neither have I. You ever thought of keeping birds? Neither have I. And by all means, write dear Aunt Agatha and tell her she's made us very, very happy.
I will.
They live in one heck of a house, don't they? Look at that place.
I know all about last night.
A cat called Sylvester.
And the night before that.
Mother told you. I suppose you think I've gone off my head, one of those silly, hysterical women.
I think you're a lot overtired and a little over-imaginative.
But this isn't my imagination. Believe me, I saw it. I saw it.
Now, that is silly. You don't believe what you see in your sleep? I mean, unless you're a gypsy. Grace, do you trust me?
No.
No, I do.
then don't spoil the happiest time of our whole lives just because of a bad dream. Everything's going to be all right, I promise. I'll take care of you always.
Oh, hold me tight, darling.
Yeah, like Leonardo DiCaprio.
If I didn't know you so
You're
well, I'd think
doomed,
that you'd
dude.
fall in love with another man, that you didn't want to marry me.
I couldn't love anybody but you.
Very well, I believe you. Only remember, if there ever is another man, I was one of the best shots in the Coldstream Guards.
He just wants a Kate Winslet moment with her on the Titanic. That's what he wants. Just saying. But they're married, so it's cool.
Are you asleep?
I think I will keep a bird after all.
I beg your pardon.
That would please your Aunt Agatha, wouldn't it?
Terribly. Did you have any particular species in mind?
Budgie.
Oh, a lovebird, of course.
Well, naturally, lovebird.
Budgie. Parakeet.
Thank you, darling.
What for?
The 6 most perfect days of my life.
How lovely you are. And very young. There'll be even better days.
You've forgiven me, haven't you, for those silly scenes I made?
I've forgotten the whole thing.
I'm
I
glad.
think he's too old for her.
Such awful, ridiculous dreams.
It wasn't a dream at all. I was wide awake when I felt there was something wrong with the ship. Quite wrong. I know you'll laugh. And I don't blame you. I was in my cabin this afternoon. I imagine it was around 4 o'clock when I heard this terrible sound.
What kind of sound?
It was a terrible grinding sound, as though the ship had suddenly struck some immovable object.
Like a
The whole boat
iceberg?
seemed to tremble with the impact. Tell me, by any chance, did you hear anything or feel anything?
No, I heard nothing like that, I'm happy to say. You know, it's probably your imagination, or more likely, indigestion. Now, why don't you see the ship's doctor? He's a good man, I'm told.
I'm all right physically. It's just that for the first time in my life, I'm afraid.
Sounded kind of like...
I'm afraid even for the next few hours. I don't know what I'm afraid
Oops!
of. It's as though something in my soul. You know, if I weren't such a hard-headed realist and I were at home, I think I'd call on my minister.
4, 6. 4, 6.
Excuse me, Dr. Morgan, but it's nearly time for the service.
Miss Parsons, I'd like the congregation to sing hymn number 446 tonight.
But, Dr. Morgan, the hymns for tonight are already posted in the church, and the organist...
Please, 446.
I didn't know that was one of your favorite hymns.
It isn't. I don't even know the words. I simply know that we must sing it tonight.
I actually hate it, but sing it. Talk about possession.
Here, Father, while we pray to thee for those in peril on the sea. Better we should be praying for our farmers after a winter like this.
Pretty good special effects, actually, for the time. Can you tell that's a model?
Have you seen the book? The book was from Winnipeg, Canada, Methodist Church.
She's also way too good looking for him.
Forgets it's Sunday. What is it, darling?
Nothing.
Well, you're cold. Come to bed.
Told you. Kate Winslet moment coming right up.
Harry Teller, you're the only man in New York City that's still up. You've been here for 4 hours.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Harry, what's this? I thought you were supposed to be drawing pretty girls in the new spring styles. You'll never make the deadline now.
I don't know how it happened. I was, I don't know, helpless. Something seemed to be guiding my hand. I can't explain it.
You're tired. You've been working too hard. Now, come on.
No. No, it's not that.
Harry, let's go to bed. You know, this drawing, it's awful. I don't know who would want it. But you know something? This is the best work you've ever done. I've never seen you do anything like this before. All of this detail in here. And Harry, what is it? Your hands are like ice.
The water in the drawing was cold. Icy cold.
Sleeping in separate beds. It's a wonder the human race propagated in the 1950s.
What the devil are you doing? Grace? 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 Grace?
What happened? What's the matter?
Everything's all right now. You come back to bed.
I don't understand. I was sleeping and someone was screaming, hurry, that we need warm clothes. And I must... What's wrong with me? I must be losing my mind. Oh, I'm losing my mind.
Darling, you're driving me out of mind, you know. Look, I'm not John Jacob Astor or a member of the nobility. I've saved for 2 years for this trip, wanting it to be a perfect honeymoon, and to have it spoilt by such childish nonsense.
Oh, I'm sorry, Eric. I'm sorry.
All right, darling, you're forgiven. I just don't make a habit of pitching my best clothes on the floor.
Iceberg, get ahead! Iceberg, get ahead! Iceberg, get ahead!
Engine seems to have stopped. You all right? Oh, Stuart.
Sir?
The engine seemed to have stopped. What was it?
There was some report of an iceberg, sir. The captain stopped the vessel, sir, just to be on the safe side, you know.
What an incredible ship. What service. They run out of ice at the bar, so what happens? We hit an iceberg. Good fresh ice. That's what I like. It's all over the deck. Have a drink, chum.
No, thank you.
Never seen an iceberg, darling. Shall we go and have a look?
That's a good idea. We'll wrap up good and warm.
Captain's orders, go to your lifeboat station. Please dress warmly. Now, there's no need to panic. Just take it nice and easy.
It's just a precaution, darling. Remember what the captain said tonight? The ship that nothing in the world could sink? What are you doing? Trying to impress an iceberg with your jewels?
Just in case you might not be coming back.
Oh, come on.
Easy does it now. Women and children only. Men will follow later. There we go. Yep. Right. There's the little one. Here's the young fellow. Take care of him, will you? Yes, sir.
No!
Thank you, madam.
No! No! I won't go without you.
Hush,
No!
my darling, hush.
No!
Now, stop it. Listen to me. Have you forgotten your wedding vows so soon? Love, honor, obey.
Obey.
You go with the other women in boat 4.
I'm sorry. I love our marriage. All 6 days, 5 hours, and 20 minutes of it. I even loved our first fight.
If you ever have another bad dream, I'll listen to you. Every word.
Come, madam.
It's all right. It's all right. Good night, my love.
Towards a man, just like Leonardo DiCaprio, going to the bottom. Doomed.
All away!
Eric Farley never came back to this house. Over 1,500 people perished that dreadful night aboard the Titanic. Eric Farley was among them. You've seen some of the unexplained supernatural events surrounding the life and death of a great ship. Now, Do you remember this book? It's a novel published in 1898, 14 years before the ill-fated vessel was even dreamed of. The title, Futility. Its author, Morgan Robertson. It's a story about the largest liner ever built, carrying on its maiden voyage the rich and great of the world. Then, on an April night, it struck an iceberg. The vessel in this book was 70,000 tons. The Titanic, 66,000 tons. The length of the ship in these pages, 800 feet. The Titanic, 882 feet. Both made 25 knots. Both carried about 3,000 passengers. Both liners had lifeboats for only a fraction of that number. And both were considered unsinkable. Oh, one more thing. The author called his ship the Titan. In a moment, something else to think about. This is the ticket that carried a passenger, Arthur Douglas by name, from New York to Chicago on a fantastic excursion into terror. Now, if you were one of the passengers on the train that night, well, thank you to keep your secret until next week, when a perfectly normal man takes that one step beyond.
Scary stuff.
Yeah, well, you know what? I've got my own share of prophetism, or, believed in few things that happen, or seen things before they were happening. And probably had to share that to people before things were coming, because, well, I mean, a long time ago, I used to, kind of guess thing, right? So.
Oh my. I'm just looking in the chat here. Anybody have anything interesting to say?
Alicia Schmidt is doing a comment about she is not Molly Brown. Who's not Molly Brown? Who's Molly Brown?
Linda says, giving the woman advice there, get dressed, going to be colder. And Stoic Teacher says, no, not scary at all. Perceptive, insightful. Yeah. And there's Choosy. What are you saying there, Choosy? Yeah, Choosy says he left out the part about the Knights of Malta and J.P. Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Aha, you see. It's all about the Knights of Malta. And actually, I've been thinking about you, Choosy, because I think now more than ever, we need your voice of reason calling for peaceful revolution at a time when I'm seeing some people ramp up the calls for maybe something that isn't quite in that vein. With that being said, let's run this during a short break, and we'll come back, and our journey into the unknown and the mysterious will continue.
Real quick, if I may, have you seen the book of the priest that did ask for the M446?
You said it was from Winnipeg?
Winnipeg. So he was from the Methodic Church of Winnipeg.
Methodist, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed they were Methodists. I didn't see that it was from Winnipeg, but there's a little bit of Canadiana trivia associated with One Step Beyond.
Exile. The Knights of Malta. Maverick News. Join us. The world is watching.
Yeah, and I'm super serious about what I said about Choosy, too. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Of all the people in our Maverick family, I sometimes think that he might just be the wisest of us all. You know, he's right in there with Antonio and, you know, and a few others. But anyway, I digress. So, Dragon, are you enjoying this so far?
Yep, I do. And actually, you know what? It's in my one of the thing that I would have enjoyed if I would have been younger and probably been introduced to it. But now I'm just curious to see all of them.
Yeah, it's a great series, and I think that what makes it great is the scripts, right? It's great storytelling.
Another intemporal, I think.
Yeah, it's very much like I think this style of television very much like going to the theater, right? It's like just almost like sitting in a theater watching live theater. It's very much like that. And back then, you know, they used to do some live TV, live productions like that were like live theater on television. So that was a very interesting time. Things are a lot different now, though, I'll tell you that. But great night so far. We've already experienced 2 unsettling tales from the world of One Step Beyond, each one pushing the boundaries of what we believe to be possible. In our first episode, The Bride Possessed, we witnessed the chilling story of a newlywed who suddenly believed she was someone else, someone who had lived and died long before her time. The episode left us questioning the nature of identity and the strange forces that might influence our lives. Then, what did we just see? In night of April 14th, we were taken aboard the doomed Titanic, exploring the eerie premonitions that haunted several individuals before the ship's fateful voyage. This story reminded us that the line between dreams and reality can sometimes be blurred in ways that we can't fully understand. Now, as we head into our final episode of the night, we're about to confront another mystery in Emergency Only. This episode takes us on a journey inside a train compartment where a group of passengers experiences something utterly bizarre, an encounter that defies logic and challenges our perception of reality. As we wrap up tonight's watch party, Emergency Only promises to leave us with more questions than answers. Much like the other episodes, it's a fitting conclusion to our exploration of the unknown, and it might just make you think twice about the strange coincidences and encounters in your own life. So let's settle in one last time, shall we? And allow the mystery to unfold. Who knows what we'll discover? Just one step beyond.
What you're about to see is a matter of human record. Explain it? We cannot. Disprove it? We cannot. We simply invite you to explore with us the amazing world of the unknown, to take that one step beyond. Like, thousands of other couples in Manhattan, Jim and Betty Hennessy are giving a cocktail party. Now, all those other parties will end with people falling in love with each other, with people getting sore at each other, with hangovers, and with plenty of work for the maid. But this one, oh boy, this one.
I don't know. Sometimes I can't do it at all.
Oh, stop that. What about the time that you told Marie Cooper that their house was going to burn down 3 days before it happened?
Yeah, that was really out of this world.
It was really horrible.
It wasn't your fault, darling. After all, you got us married.
How did she manage that?
She told me I was going to meet a man in Bermuda because of a flat bicycle tire. And a year later, I would marry him.
And we were married to the day. How come you could fix a bicycle tire? In the Army, you couldn't clean your rifle. I still can.
Oh, well, now, come on, it's not that bad.
Oh, he's very handy.
No kidding. She's really terrific. She went into some kind of hypnotic sleep a year before Betty and I ever laid eyes on each other. And she called all the shots right on the button.
Sure she did.
You don't believe it, huh?
Well, I believe she saved lots of cocktail parties. Look, next time you're in Chicago, remind me to take you on State Street to a little old woman. She's got a genuine African monkey paw. All she does is touch it, and the whole future lights up. Now, she told me I'd be the next governor of Illinois. Oh, you'd love her.
Okay, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a wise guy from Chicago in our midst. He doesn't believe in our Ellen. What do you say, Ellen? Would you be willing to do it?
Oh, please, I'd rather not.
Well, maybe the spirits are with Miss Larrabee today.
Some other time.
You mean when there are no cynics on the premises?
No, just some other time.
But there can't be any other time, Ellen. He's flying back to Chicago tonight. Come on, don't make a jackass out of me.
I think this is wonderful. You and Arthur have never seen each other before. You know absolutely nothing about him.
And you might be able to tell him something. It'll wipe that smug smile off his face. Charlie, come on. You make her do it.
Now, what's Charlie got to do with it?
Well, they sort of work together.
Uh-huh. That's an act.
Well, maybe it is an act. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. You want to, Ellen?
I just don't feel up to it now.
Well, then forget about it. You don't have to sing for your supper around here.
It's too bad. I like party games. Like post office. Well, where's the post office? And I'm sorry I'm such a wet blanket. Oh, look, for Pete's sake, I hope I didn't hurt your feelings.
You didn't hurt my feelings, Mr.
Douglas.
Mr. Douglas. All right. I'm ready.
Oh, marvelous.
Oh, good. Good.
Now, Ellen, you don't have to do this.
I want to. Mr. Douglas, I hope you'll be amused.
Well, come on, everybody. Get comfortable. Grab a chair. Now the party livens up. Excuse me.
All right, Ellen, now close your eyes. Now relax. Relax completely. Now you're sinking. Down, down, down. You're floating. The mind is free in space. World's far away.
Far away.
You feel wonderful. Light and wonderful.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Now, where are you, Ellen?
Moving. Moving.
Do you see anything?
Nothing. Nothing. Oh. He doesn't notice them.
Notice what?
They're not his anyway.
What's not his, Ellen?
The keys. Now it's dark. Dark, 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 dark. A tunnel. Stop.
What stopped? Where did it stop?
There's so much noise.
What kind of noise?
People. And trains. Many trains.
I hope the act improves. You just told her I was taking a plane.
Are you in the station, Ellen?
He's late. He's hurrying. Now run. Run. Running. He's running.
Where's he running?
102, B.
102?
B. Compartment B, car 102.
Shouldn't someone tell her I'm flying?
They shouldn't. They're making him go. Things making him go. Oh, he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have. There's a snake.
It's a snake.
A snake. A shining gold band.
You mean a ring?
Yes, a ring. Now I see. To thee, for whose dear love I rise and fall. Oh, isn't that lovely? It must have meant a lot.
Whose ring, Ellen?
Hers.
Hers? Well, well, well. Now, Arthur, if this bores you, we can stop right now.
No, don't be silly. Now it's getting interesting.
Oh, she's so pretty. Dark hair,
Very interesting.
traveling suit, gray, fur bow. He's nervous. He's frightened. He's spilling her drink. And now he's running. Running. 102, quickly. Oh, he's so frightened. Oh, he's all alone. In the dark. Ah! The light is blinding. She's standing in front of him with a knife. With a knife.
Helen.
You're all right, darling. You're all right now.
Nothing like this ever happened before, Arthur. I'm sorry. Guess it was a lousy idea.
What did I say? What did I say? I talked about you, didn't I?
Well, if you did, I hope you're wrong.
Was it bad?
Bad? Oh, I'm going to be rich as a Maharaja, live to be 150, and fall in love with an international beauty. Look, thanks for the most exciting cocktail party I've been to in years. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. Goodbye. Goodbye, all.
I'm afraid this wasn't a barrel of laughs. Well, have a good trip, Arthur.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're going by plane.
You know something? You really married a spook. But she's good looking.
So long, Arthur.
All right, bye-bye.
I'll see you soon. For being such a bust, there's an awful lot to clean up.
Never mind, Maddie, I'll get it. I wonder who that could be. I hope nobody forgot anything. One thing I can't stand is a party that never ends. Arthur!
Hey, where's the party?
Well, what happened? Why aren't you in the plane?
Well, don't you ever look out your windows? Nothing's leaving Idlewild for who knows how long.
What are you going to do?
Exactly what your Miss Larrabee said I was going to do. Well, I knew you wouldn't mind my waiting here instead of the station.
You're not going to take a train.
One bag, Chicago special.
I'm sorry about the traffic, sir, but New York City, when we have fog...
All right, keep it change.
Thank you, sir.
Gee, I'm sorry.
All right, that's all right. Hey, mister! Mister! You dropped your keys, sir.
Oh, they aren't mine.
Okay.
The keys. They're not his anyway.
Going right out, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Douglas. Oh, yes, Mr. Douglas, because of this storm and all the reservations that were made at the last minute like yours, there's been a mix-up in your space. Now, I can give you compartment L in car 271 or, let's see, car 102, compartment B.
Compartment B, car 102.
What were those numbers? Car 271. I mean the last. Compartment B, car 102. Well, I'll take the other one. Car 270. It doesn't really matter. The compartments are exactly the same. That's what you think. I beg your pardon? Thanks very much. Good evening. There you go. Beg pardon, sir. This last-minute change seems to have gotten us all fouled up. I'm afraid we're going to have to change cars after all. You see, this lady belongs in here. The porter will move you. I'm very sorry for the bother. Where are you moving me to? Well, the only space we have left, car 102, compartment B. Now, if you'll permit the porter to... I'm not permitting the porter anything. I'm staying right here. Oh, but Mr. Douglas... Look, why don't you put the lady in the other compartment? Well, you yourself said they were the same. Not quite, Mr. Douglas. You see, at 6:12 tomorrow morning, we lose car 102 at Dayton. That means that its passengers will ride in the club car the rest of the way to Chicago. And since this lady has had this space reserved for so long, it hardly seems fair that she should be the one who's inconvenienced. Well, I'm not moving.
Look, rather than cause all this fuss, I'll take the other compartment.
No. Just a moment. Mr. Douglas, as the conductor of this train, I'm responsible for the comfort of the passengers. Now, this lady purchased this space some weeks ago, and she's not going to be inconvenienced because of a clerical error, and I must say a most uncooperative man. Look, I've got to get to Chicago. Car 102 will take you there quite nicely. And if that compartment is not acceptable to you, I must ask you to leave the train. All right. All right, let's change. Thank you, Mr. Douglas. Think nothing of it.
I'm sorry about all this bother.
All right. All aboard!
Yes?
Oh, excuse me. I believe I left my hat in here.
Oh.
Thank you. I shouldn't have made all the fuss about the compartment.
Oh, that's all right. Nobody likes to be shuttled about. Yes?
I did apologize about getting annoyed, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry. The two cheapest words in the language. When a fellow says I'm sorry and offers to buy you a drink, that really means something. What do you say?
Oh, thank you. Maybe if you're in the club car later, I'll see you there, but first I must change.
Well, you look fine the way you are.
I'm glad you approve.
I do. I'll be waiting for you.
Pretty suave.
Does that kind offer of a drink still stand?
Traveling suit, gray. Fur bow.
Well, you did ask me to have a drink.
Oh, please, forgive me. Please. What'll you have?
Scotch and soda, if I may.
Scotch and soda.
Oh, she's so pretty. Dark hair.
Is something wrong?
I don't know.
You're the messenger of death.
You know, I can live without this drink.
Oh, please, please, forgive me. Please. Would you, mind if I ask you a question about, your dress?
It's a suit.
Tell me, is that what you, call an original? I mean, is that the only one like it?
No, I wish it were. I hate to think about it, but there are probably 1,000 women walking around in exactly the same thing. Here's to the man in compartment B.
Live in Chicago?
Not exactly in Chicago. Evanston.
Have friends in New York?
A few, not many.
Tell me, by some wild chance, you happen to know Ellen Larrabee?
No, I don't think so. Thank you.
Now, you're sure?
Quite sure.
Now, she's small, brown hair, and her eyes are sort of...
I really don't know Ellen Larrabee.
I'm glad.
What?
You want to hear something really crazy? I went to a cocktail party this afternoon. A perfectly normal cocktail party. And there was this completely average-looking woman there, this Ellen Larrabee. Now, look, I'm the most practical guy in the world. I believe 2 and 2 are 4, period. But this Ellen Larrabee told me that I was...
It's a snake.
And what did she tell you?
Stay away from you.
A snake.
Well, do you want them or not?
To thee, for whose dear love I rise and fall.
Let me see that.
What?
That ring.
All right. It's quite old. It's a serpent ring. I picked it up in a little antique shop on Madison Avenue. Being a woman, I liked the sentiment inside. To thee, for whose dear love I rise and fall. Isn't that lovely? It must have meant so much.
Look, do you know me? Have you ever seen me before? Now, I must know, I must. Did you know I was taking a strain?
No, I've never seen you before. Are you feeling all right?
Look, my name is Douglas, Arthur Douglas. Now, does that name mean anything to you?
Look, Mr. Douglas, it's none of my business, but I really think that
Oh, this is insane! What is this? What is this?
Mr. Douglas? Mr. Douglas?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't open the door. Just say no. Go away.
Mr. Douglas. Mr. Douglas.
Just lie still. You'll be all right now. You've got quite a slice in the head, but you'll be all right. You're lucky.
Lucky?
Why, sure. Look at the service you're getting. I'm a first-class surgical nurse, and this gentleman here, he's a doctor. Happened to be in the next car.
You're going to be all right. Lost a little blood, that's all.
Whatever made you pull that emergency cord? They'll probably give you a medal.
Medal?
If you hadn't pulled that cord, Lord knows how many people would be dead instead of just shaken up.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the freight train that was stalled on the track 100 yards ahead of us. The signal system failed. We stopped about 6 yards from the caboose. But how did you know that the train was there? I mean, you couldn't possibly have known. No one could have known.
No one?
Ellen Larrabee knew. How? Well, there are a lot of theories. Precognition. Clairvoyance. Some people might even call it a happy coincidence. But does that explain it? I mean, really explain it. To whom it happened, we know. Where it happened, we know. How or why it happened. In a moment, something else to wonder about. Next week, this is a film developing tray, a rather ordinary object. But next week, when we take that one step beyond, this commonplace item from a photographer's darkroom will play quite a part in a bizarre story of the unknown world. I think you'll be shocked by what develops.
Man, was that fantastic or what?
I love it.
Great stories, man. Great, great stories. Fantastic scripts.
I want
think
some
so.
more of it.
Yeah, well, we can do more another night for sure. What do you guys in the chat think? Alicia says, great night love shows like this. Yeah, me too. I think they're fantastic. Those are the, the golden days of television, right?
Mm-hmm. I miss those days.
Yeah. We'll definitely do more. I think that was, I think this was a good choice for tonight myself.
It was.
Yeah. And so that, my
Congrats.
friends, yeah. So that brings us to the end of our journey into the unknown tonight. We've taken a step beyond the ordinary and explored the eerie, the mysterious, and the downright unexplainable. We began tonight with The Bride Possessed, and then Dragon. It was a tale of identity lost and found in the strangest of ways. Then we traveled back in time with Night of April 14th, where premonitions and tragedy intertwined aboard the Titanic. And then finally, we closed out the night with Emergency Only, a story that left us questioning the very fabric of reality. Who needs Alex Jones when you can just step back in time and watch One Step Beyond? Each episode of One Step Beyond has challenged us to reconsider what we know or think we know about the world around us. The beauty of this classic series lies in its ability to blend fact with fiction, leaving us to wonder just how much truth there is in these tales. It's a reminder that the unknown is never far away, and that sometimes the most unsettling of mysteries are the ones we can't quite explain. So, Dragon, as we wrap up tonight's watch party, I hope these stories have sparked your curiosity and maybe even sent a few shivers down your spine. If you enjoyed this trip into the unknown, be sure to join us for future watch parties where we will continue to explore the strange and the supernatural. Final thoughts, sir?
Well, I'm not a predictor as much, or I'm not a medium. I can predict few things, though. You guys will join us tomorrow, I'm sure. And because you always tune in, I can predict that. So join us tomorrow. There's going to be a lot. So there's going to be the annual parade. And we're going tomorrow to cover a little bit of that history, I think. That's because, well, I want to make a little bit of an history fact behind the whole thing and what might be happening on Saturday and also, well, mostly Sunday. So Sunday is going to be the big parade. We'll see what's going to be happening.
Okay, so Dragon's going to be on the scene, out of the dragon's lair and out into the
unknown.
Fray, into the unknown.
It's going to be an unknown chart for me, so
it'll be Protest Central in Montreal this weekend, and Dragon will be on the scene, bringing us live coverage. So stay tuned for that. And folks, I just want to say thank you for tuning in, for sharing your thoughts in the chat, and for being part of this incredible experience tonight. Until next time, keep questioning, keep wondering, and remember, sometimes reality is stranger than fiction. Good night. Take care. Catch you all on the flip
side.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.